this. So much better. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to For Future Generations, episode 30. It is the 30th. The 30th. My word, where does the time fly? But it is the 30th of August, and we are glad to have you all with us. It's Labor Day weekend, folks, so I hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Don't forget, don't stay up so late tonight that you don't go to church tomorrow. But hope that y'all will have a wonderful holiday weekend. And I am Jeffrey. I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Sean. Sean, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. As a reminder, all episodes, including today's episode, is brought to you by Vibe SEO. There's Vibe Sierra Echo October. And I think October's the phonetic thing. Am I making that up? It's not Omicron. That would be the Greek letter. Yeah.
Oscar, I believe.
But yeah, vibeseo.com. Go and get your website noticed because they will. It's interesting. We've done a whole episode on it. Look up the Drew Davis episode and he'll tell you all about it. But tell them we sent you and you will be supporting the show because Vibe SEO gives a dollar amount to the show for every person who shows up and mentions us.
That'd be cool.
In other news, I'm just doing okay. Tired. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's, man, I don't know what it is. It's like ever since I don't know if it was my first kid, but my second kid, I just kind of decided that being tired is what being a grown-up is all about.
Yeah.
And I'm never not going to be tired anymore. That's life. Yeah. That's life.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what's funny is there's been a lot of pushback. Like people will say in certain political, ostensibly right-wing circles that they'll be like, well, because I don't have a family, I'm able to do XYZ political movement or whatever. But there is no political movement that I could be doing that is more important than what I'm doing with these kids. So I'd rather all of that suffers, which also is just not true. I mean, I was at a political rally that we organized today and given a whole presentation. That's part of why I'm so tired is dealing with all that. It's been a crazy political season. So I can't wait for November 4th to come and go. And then I can be tired for a whole other reason.
Yeah, many such cases. I mean, I don't know how many political campaigns I've been a part of, and it's just like it gets closer to the end, and it just gets crazier and crazier. And then, win or lose, on the other side, you just kind of take a breath and go, oh, "Wow, I'm glad that's over." And it's almost like if you lose, the relief is double because it's like, hey, I don't have to.
Haha, the other guy has to do that.
Yeah. I could just go home.
Yeah. Just be a curmudgeon like all the other voters.
Yeah. I'm just going to go home, sip some tea and drink some Coke on my back porch and smoke a cigar or what have you, just relax. But anyway, hope that y'all are relaxed, but we're going to bring you some news and some perspectives on the news. This week, there were two things that happened that were very interesting, completely unrelated, that we're going to bring up and try to get a through line. But for the most part, it seems like the world is just falling apart, right? Every generation says this, right? I remember my grandmother saying to me when I was a kid, every generation thinks theirs is the end of the world. It's the last generation. Everybody has this apocalyptic kind of generational feel to them. And I don't know how true or false that is, but it really does feel like we stand at the end of history. Like the world is falling apart around us and there's nothing we can do to stop it. And maybe there is nothing we can do to stop it. And maybe the world is falling apart.
Why not?
But there are still good things that we can do in the meantime. But anyway, the first thing that we wanted to bring up was there was a story out of Scotland. And if you are online at all, like if you have been online in the last week, you surely saw this video of a girl who she was accosted, or her younger sister actually. So this girl's 14 years old. She's Scottish. She's in Scotland, in a very high crime city. So this is not like, your
what city was it? I didn't catch what city that was.
I forget.
Edinburgh, something like that.
No, it's not one of the better known ones. But here, maybe I can click over here and it'll say. I'm not seeing it just at a cursory glance, and off the top of my head I can't recall, but it is a town that's known for being kind of high crime, and it's a very ethnically diverse place, at least for Scotland.
Ali on Twitter says Dundee, or
Dundee.
if I'm Dundee.
I don't know. I don't know if that was correct, but that doesn't sound right. But anyway, here is, I'm going to go ahead and share the tab.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see. I'll go ahead and start it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's get, I don't know, what happens if I make this full screen? Does that just really mess things up? No, that seems to work. Do we dare? Dare we?
Perfect.
All right, so here's this girl. This is, I believe, her 12-year-old sister in front of her, and she's 14. And what the video is being recorded by the guy who is accosting her and following her. And now I know that some people are going to push back on this, but the girl's wearing spandex shorts that are barely longer than her backside. And that may or may not have something to do with this guy following her and filming her. Now, you're not supposed to blame the victim. I know. But there are incentives here. We know why people are behaving this way. Yeah. He didn't seem to pick someone at random. He picked somebody that he was filming for a particular reason. Anyway, here is the video.
Yes, you have a knife. Why are you fucking with us? Show the knife. Show the knife.
Now,
show the knife.
Foul language, unfortunately.
That's it. Show the knife. Show the knife. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, show the knife.
Maratha, that's a Scottish, I believe. Maratha.
Can I just say, okay, so for those that see me like laughing and smiling in this, I grew up in the area that is infamous for people who act like this, known as Modesto, California. And boy, I gotta say, like that, just seeing a woman dual wielding sharp objects like that, boy, that just really it brings you back. Like if you've ever grown up with that, there's something to say. There's something in the European genome that, when it comes to the surface, it gets made fun of. But man, dude, like that is what I love to see in my fellow men and women. Yes, even the women. Like the way that she was like, I got an axe and I got a sword, and you come at me like. I love seeing
Then I
that.
come in there, man, I blade ya.
Yeah, with like crazy eyes and crazier accent, and
Painted
it's just
faces, yeah.
yeah. So if you see me smiling, it's like just seeing the Saxon begin to hate, or the Celt begin to hate, or whatever poem we're going with these days.
Yeah, but one of the things that I did want to kind of point out is, this girl, she is the one with the weapon.
Why you fucking me?
You can see that, but look at her face. She is glancing left and right. She is looking around. She is backing up. She's retreating. She's not the one pursuing him. Let me turn it down a little bit. This might be a bit loud. She's not pursuing him. She's looking left and right. She's retreating. She's walking away. And the look in her eyes. I mean, look at this. That's not the face of somebody who's looking to hurt somebody. That's the face of somebody who's running away. She's looking around, looking for an exit. She's trying to leave. And this guy's pursuing her. For whatever
he's getting closer, and we know that because he's holding the video, or he's holding the phone.
Yeah. So obviously he's not scared. He looks at her and he sees this 12, 14-year-old girl, whichever it is. There's conflicting reports. This bigger girl seems to be saying, leave her alone, she's 12. But then in the arrest, they're saying they arrested a 14-year-old girl. And here's the video of the arrest. Tell me what's strange about this, okay? Because, I don't know if this will work. Because that took away my ability to swap back and forth. But let's... Here we go.
So this is obviously a different day.
Yeah, different clothing. It's like, notice the cop is walking with a camera.
Yeah, that's weird.
He's recording for whatever reason, for whatever official reason. How many cops do they have? One,
what's
two, three.
What's the black dude screaming
4, 5,
in the back?
6,
What's
7,
up with
8.
that? Because she's yelling back at
German.
him.
Right?
Is it? That looked like the dude
I
with
heard
the
German just a second ago.
I mean that's definitely a
Look at this.
non-white man in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there? Maybe not.
Probably just curious. He's just like, what in the world is going on? Yeah, so this is German. So I don't think that this is the same girl. This is being dragged around online, and they're like, this is the same girl. But first off, when you look at her, I mean, she's brown hair, and she's young, and she's 14, 12, something like that. But I think this is a different person. But one thing that you do notice is they sent out 10 police officers, something like 10 officers, to come arrest this girl. Why? And this girl that did get, with the knives, she did get arrested, but I don't think we have a video of that instance. But this video that's purportedly going around, I don't think that's her. I think this is in Germany. I think these are different people in a different case. But this girl here, 14-year-old girl arrested for defending herself. Similar situation. One guy asking, they're twisting her arm. Why didn't they just cuff her? Why did they drag her through town? Why are they doing this? You can see people posting memes of the Scottish girl in the comments. So there's a lot of people confusing these, but I don't think that they're the same instance. I think that they're different. They're different instances, but similar story, right? They didn't cuff her. They're dragging her through town. And I'm not going to read that out loud, but make of that what you will. So there is definitely a protected class in our society, and it is not you, and it is not your daughters. These people, these girls are being threatened. They're being threatened with molestation. They're being threatened in the most vile way, and they are taking to saving themselves by illegally in these countries brandishing knives and axes. First off, I don't think that should be illegal, and that is one thing that I think was very tragic. Is I follow European news and I listen to these conservative right-wing UK guys, and the whole time that they're discussing this, they're saying, now we don't excuse her behavior. What she did was not right. This is illegal and she shouldn't be doing it. But if you're being threatened and you brandish a knife, that should not be illegal. I don't know why I have to say that. If you brandish an axe to ward off a sexual assault, that should not be illegal. There was a girl a couple years ago in Stockholm who pepper sprayed a guy who was actively raping her. She pepper sprayed him, filed a police report, and was arrested because it's illegal to have pepper spray. Did they ever find the guy? We don't know. But evidently it's not illegal to do what he was doing. But if she tried to protect herself, that's illegal.
I saw the phrase come up again, this stupid petty Reddit tier thing that people say that, we won't have freedom or whatever the first part of it goes until the last priest is strangled with the entrails of the last king or whatever the order of that goes. You've heard that. Everyone's heard that.
Mm-hmm.
When we had kings, we weren't worrying about, can we defend ourselves from the people off the boat who landed in, imagine, one of my ancestors landing at Lindisfarne and the king getting mad at the priest because they whipped out an axe and started fighting with the Vikings that came on the shore.
Back when we had kings, if you started fighting it back against the people who landed on the boat, the king would probably give you a medal or a crown or land or an estate. He would.
He's like, I'm going to give you the land. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the beach that you just defended. That is now your place to build a castle and defend this land for all time. That is your reward.
You did such a good job that I'm going to let that be your reward to protect this beach for henceforth and forevermore.
Yep. Lord of the beach.
Also, something to note here.
I love the way she holds it, dude. I'm telling you, like there is. I mean, we don't have like video footage or anything of like hundreds of years ago, like the way that people brandished axes or knives or whatever. I mean, dude, that's probably
this is ancestral memory here.
Yeah, that's probably like a kitchen knife, but it's got the length of a Bowie knife. Like it's huge. It's like how many times, like there's something in that stance that just I've seen it in, like trailer park girls with knives. I've seen it in like just it. I don't know. There's something in the blood that
it's
made
as
that pose
iconic as the guy holding his gun sideways, but for a different group of people.
Yes. Yeah.
By the way, that axe there, that is an Estwing, and highly recommend those. Those are fantastic tools. Oh. So that is a carpentry tool that she is holding there, the axe, and that is a kitchen knife. Neither one of these things are weapons per se, right? They are both designed to be used against non-animate objects. And, the knife is actually more of a weapon than the axe because it's at least meant to be used on meat. But actually, it's not even. It's a veggie chopper. By the shape.
I was gonna say that's the one that you.
Yeah, and Dude, have you ever figured out how to do that thing where it's like you put your fingernails down and you?
I'm not trying to be part. Nah, I'm not about that life. Nah, I don't care.
I have tried that, and all I end up doing is shaving the front of my fingernails, and it ends up in the food, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I was doing just fine.
I want to say with axes, you know, I keep saying like there's something in the blood. There's a blood memory that comes from it. My son was born with a cleft lip and a partial cleft palate. The palate wasn't too bad, but the lip was pretty obvious. He had to get surgery. And we took him in for a surgery. And this guy, he was like a nurse, but he was like a big dude. Like he was like a big built dude. Probably a lot of it was fat, but he had scrubs on, so it's hard to tell. Anyways, he was like this bearded guy. And he said something. He's like, oh, this boy looks like he should have an axe in his hand. And like, I was like, it struck me. Like, I kind of knew what he was talking about already, but I was like, oh, okay. What do you mean by that? And he's like, oh, like the reddish blonde hair. Like, I could tell like this kid's a Viking. And I was like, he sees it. Like when you see it in a kid, like you could say, I could tell your ancestors were these guys, and this dude had enough of the white man's lore in his head that he's like, he's the axe wielding people. And that was so cool to me. And I was like, man, like one of these days I'm gonna tell him that story. I'm gonna give him his own axe, and it's gonna be like his.
This is who you are. This is your rite of passage.
Yes, like there's. It was a really cool moment for me. And so like when I see like the axe itself, I think because the axe is that's so much more, I think it's more brutal because essentially what the physics of it, like with a sword or a knife, you like stab at somebody, all of the thrust is from your own muscles. But with an axe, if you like hack at somebody, it's the axe head's going faster than you're swinging it because it's an extension. So it's covering more
leverage.
Yeah. There's more distance being covered per second at the end of it. And so it's just, I don't know, man. It was cool to see. It sucks that she got arrested, but it was really cool to see that like, women say. So I saw that as a more positive story. A lot of people were like, oh, it's awful that women have to defend themselves. Yeah, but you know what? The fact that she had the forethought to bring weapons like that, and we got a comment. All I want to do is Fed post when I hear about this. Yeah, that's definitely the black pill that we all feel when we see something like that. But the white pill is that she had the forethought to have that, and she was willing to pull it in the moment, because that happens a lot too. You know, people will like close carry somewhere, and when they should be, I Fed post in my heart. Yeah, I feel that. That's pretty good.
I Fed post in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, it was really, there's some cool memes that came out of it. I know you had those lined up in our private chat.
Well, and there's a couple fun memes that came out of this, but one of the more interesting things that's going on, and let me grab this here, is the reaction. The reaction to this. So this fellow's not the easiest to understand, but give him a try. And
these lads are sticking up for this country. If there were a war in this country, we'd be the first one there. So all I'm saying is, Mr. Donald Trump, please intervene. I want him to buy England like he wanted to buy Canada, and make us a state that we're proud of.
Want to be part of the United States?
Yes, these lads are sticking up.
Boy, would I, in a heartbeat.
So as one person, there's a fellow on Twitter, if you're not following him, he calls himself Elon's Rabbi. As he astutely put it, he said, why is it that the CIA will run guns to drug gangs in South America, but they won't run guns to our cousins across the sea. It's like these people, they've had it up to here, and they're also doing a cheeky bit of vandalism. So these kids are going around and they're vandalizing St. George's Cross all over anything white. You can see here this young lad, he's painting some white paint that was put over some other vandalism. Very straightforward, it's 2 red lines. Red cross on top of white. Boom. There you go. Guy says Salford is England. And these are, so for our American viewers, some of you might not know what a roundabout is, but there's this traffic invention called a roundabout where you don't have a stop sign, you don't have a stoplight. You just go around in a circle. And the middle of the circle is not for vehicles. So in America, we'll have a curbed area. We'll have vegetation sometimes or a big rock in the middle of it to try to stop people from just driving over the middle. In England, they're used to these things. So they'll just paint it a white circle. Well, if it's a white circle, draw a red cross on it. There you go. St. George's Cross right there. Boom. How about that? And different people talking about, this is unsafe. Politicians have been coming out and saying, how dare you be vandalizing this roundabout? It's going to cause accidents. But you can make a crosswalk with the poop rainbow. That's not a problem. Or here's Carl Benjamin talking about St. George's flag. They will tolerate you putting up British flags because it's the flag of the empire, but the England flag belongs to the English.
Love it.
And same people claiming to be outraged. See here on the crosswalk, or as Englanders call it, the zebra crossings. Well, you can have, as I said, you can have the poop flag, the poop rainbow. That's just fine. But if you want to paint that with a St. George's cross, that's
what's funny about that one with that rainbow one that you just passed? Mm-hmm. That it says look both ways. But with a gay flag, both ways just really hits different as a phrase.
Swings both ways.
Yeah. I'm just glad that Abbey Road was recorded in 1969 and not now with some freaking rainbow zebra crossings and all that trash.
Yeah, that'd be pretty gross. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do about it though? I mean, here's where the problem is though. So people are taking different strategies. Some people are using this as a cheeky way of getting rid of things. So one guy had a mattress out of his flat that the council would not come and pick up, and it was a white mattress. So he painted a red cross on it, and next thing you know, the council came and picked it up. And then people are painting the bottom of potholes white and putting a red cross on them, St. George's Cross in the potholes. Next thing you know, here comes the council, and they're filling up the potholes. So yeah, it's not great, but it's making the best of a bad situation. There have been debates about what to do here. But some people saying, hey, it's not a good idea to be using this as a way to make the council do their job. This is, you're besmirching the intention behind the cross, and but I don't know if I necessarily agree with that 100%. But it is true that something has to change. Something has to change, and I think some things are changing. These crosses, these demonstrations, they're coming after just years of putting up with foreigners, foreign violence, and the people being persecuted and prosecuted for standing up against it. So here's...
it's funny you talk about the intention of the cross. Well, St. George's Cross is a representation of St. George, who slayed a dragon that was not welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dragon was not welcome. And so he pulled out his sword and he killed it because the dragon was infringing on his people's right to exist. And
and actually, I was about to open up a particular post by Roman Helmet Guy.
ooh, that dude has some pretty solid posts.
So, sorry, I forgot to save it to my computer, so now I'm having to put it in the long way round instead of just grabbing it. But let's see, where's this at? Here we go. Let's share this tab instead. So he says, St. George and the Dragon is the perfect symbol of resistance to the modern UK. A dragon demands villagers feed it their daughters. Too afraid to fight back, the villagers comply. Every day, another daughter sacrificed until one day, George shows up and slays it. So how profound, how absolutely profound that this is the story of England right now. Right now, the dragon has shown up on your shores. It is eating your daughters. It is coming to their dance parties and stabbing your daughters in the head. It is molesting them in the streets. Where is St. George? Will St. George rise up? Will the real St. George please rise up? But anyway, the memes. The memes have been pretty good. Here's the girl. Ripped pants legs. Axe and knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took some liberties with the size of the axe and the type of knife. Not really a hilt on the other one, but here we are.
Yeah. And, went from being a girl who's scared and fleeing to, angry and chasing.
I love it.
How much is this? I think my kids want this one right here. I think I got to get them that. Yeah. This one's one of my favorites.
Oh, man. That really...
I saw this one first shared by White Boy Summer Meme King himself. But I don't know who made a lot of these. You know how it is on the internet. These things are free range. But the memes, Maya Queen of Scots has good genes. Yeah. This is the one that most people are sharing right here, and for good reason. Great. This is it's a fantastic picture, and it encapsulates all that's going on here. But there you go. Nice. There's the one got the face paint
with the Nike and the gold chain. Nice.
Nike, yeah. It's like the blend of modern and tradition.
Yeah,
quite good. Boudica. All right, here's a quiz for you, Sean. Do you know who Boudica is?
That is what they call a martial arts tournament in Japan.
Unrelated, completely unrelated.
Okay.
So Boudica, and I'm not a historian, so there will be elements of this that I get wrong. But Boudica was a queen of a Celtic English nation. Her husband died, and he had this clever idea that what he was going to do is he was going to legally marry his daughters to Julius Caesar, or whichever Caesar. I believe it was Julius. Because if they're married to Julius Caesar, then he's the king of their country, but it won't be a province of Rome. It'll be its own thing. So he was trying to tactically kind of create a future for his own country that wouldn't just get steamrolled by the Leviathan of the world, which was Rome at the time. So Boudica was his wife. So he dies, she sends out the letters and sends the two daughters over to the Roman camp. The two daughters arrive and the Romans rape them and send them back. And they're like, okay, this was a bad idea. Boudica rallies her army. Pretty much one of the few stories of a female, national leader actually leading an army. A lot of the time it happens from, the back rows, like Queen Victoria. She wasn't exactly charging down the hill. But you have a few instances throughout history, Boudica and Of course, you have the little French girl, though she wasn't any kind of not a queen, but a little pauper French girl who got burned at the stake for her trouble. But, most of the time, armies are led by men. But Boudica rallied her entire country, charged against the Romans, and caused a lot of chaos, burned a whole city to the ground. Eventually, it didn't end well for her. You go up against Rome, you're going to get killed. But the fact that these people so viciously attacked Rome and just sacked cities, killed civilians, it was a really unheard of kind of reaction that the Romans were not at all expecting, which I don't understand why they wouldn't expect that. That's what I would have done. You mess with my people, I'm going to come for you, right? But so this is what they're making reference to, is Boudica has a very prominent position in English and especially Celtic history. So the people of Scotland and Ireland and the Welsh, the English, especially the Northern English, they all are familiar with this story. And the parallel is worth noting. Anyhow, closing thoughts on that, my guy.
Man, I guess I can reiterate the thing that we've all been saying a lot lately, is that mass deportation is the moderate position.
Right.
The conservative position would be fed post in real life. Do the things that your heart fed posts about. that would be the conservative position. Would be, you don't belong here. Your blood does not belong on my soil other than being spilled on this beach. That would be the answer to that. Not, we're going to convert you or whatever. It's get out now. Go
it's not
float
conversion, it's not assimilation. It's deportation at best.
Yeah. Go float on the next trash barge out of here the way you came in.
Yeah.
And
and it's not like this hasn't happened before. Mass deportations have been a thing. I was listening to somebody talk about this week. There's this insane black guy up in Scotland who has made himself a camp in the forest, and he's just hanging out in the forest, and he's claiming that he's the king of Scotland. And he has 2 followers, 2 women who are both married to him, one of whom is from Texas.
No,
she doesn't look like she's from Texas. She looks like a Bantu. Literally, I'm not saying that to be insulting. She looks like a Bantu African. So she probably moved to Texas, then to Scotland, something along those lines. But these people are not rationally sane. Right. But his rationale, non-rationally sane people or insane people sometimes make rational claims for their irrationality. And his point was, well, I'm laying claim to the territory that my great-great-great-grandfather was king of, unsubstantiated, before he was thrown out of Scotland by Queen Victoria. Because evidently at that time, there were a lot of Moorish blacks, North African blacks in Scotland who were causing problems. The more things change, the more they stay the same. It seems like importing a bunch of black people to Scotland the first time caused crime to go up, caused a lot of violence. And so Queen Victoria eventually had enough and just deported them all, put them on boats, sent them back to Africa. And so his rationale was, well, I'm laying claim to the territorial claims of my great-great-grandfather who was deported. So even when you deport them, you still can't get rid of them. They come back.
Yeah.
But, it has happened before. There were thousands, and Scotland's not a large country, okay? Thousands of people in a country the size of Scotland is a noticeable minority. Thousands of these Moors that were deported. It's been done before. It can be done again. And the only question is whether or not we have the will or the stomach to do so.
They're out living in the forest. We was Robin Hood. We abandoned married men out in here. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Sure thing, bro.
Yeah.
Now get on the boat.
Yeah. Sorry. Just
Sure,
because
sure,
the rapper
get in the boat.
just because the rapper calls himself Little John does not mean he's actually Little John, buddy. Get out of my country.
All right. Okie doke. Well, let's roll through some comments here. Benjamin Alpaca, referring to the arrest video, says that's German for sure. Yeah. Like I said, I think that was in Germany. I'm not sure why there was the confusion. Are there any updates to what's going to happen to the Scottish girl? I have seen unconfirmed reports that she was arrested.
I have heard that a lot.
Don't know anything more than that, but I'm sure she was. It is a very serious offense to have a knife in public in England. They were arresting. Right? Yeah, it was in Scotland, but it's the same Metro Police. The Metropolitan Police are one. So in the United States, your sheriff over your county is distinct, right? Okay. And your police chief in your city is distinct. They're elected locally by either the county or the city council or direct vote from the people. The Metropolitan Police are appointed by London, by the bureaucracy in London to any place in the country. It's all one police force. The Metropolitan Police, the Met Police, are one big unit. And that's part of the reason why you have things like this, because they don't let you live in your own community, because if you did, you would actually listen when they're like, don't arrest grandma, don't arrest this 12-year-old child. Don't do that. Leave them alone, have some mercy, have a human heart. It's like, oh, well, but I'm from Reading. What do I care what's happening in Glasgow? Right. So I'll arrest you. I don't care. It's my job. If I don't do it, I'll lose my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, to the best of my knowledge, that's where we're at. Jonathan Davis says, "Sup, Jeffrey? Howdy, howdy." And he says, "First, you are indeed the first on YouTube."
Well, yes. You know what? For whatever reason, the Twitter things go to the top.
Some of them do.
No, I saw it. He was the first.
He absolutely was the first. But there's another one coming down later that came after, and it's on Twitter, and it's lower down. So what it comes down to is I don't know what these guys are doing with my comment section, but glad to have y'all. Here's one on Rumble. Chase Cliff says, "Good evening. Good evening. Good to have you. Thank you. Thank you." Ali US says Dundee. And that might be the town in Scotland where the girl was. I'm going to
say this. She has some kind of connection with Scotland, so she might actually be on the ball on this one. Like I want to say it's like a dual citizen or something like that. Like she's open about that. So
could be. I'll have to give a follow. I am not familiar with her, but glad to have you, Ali. Or at least cool. If I do follow her, I don't remember. Sorry.
If it's who I'm thinking of, yeah, she's cool.
All right, Jonathan Davis, he says, "All I want to do is Fed post when I hear about this." Yeah. You and me both, my guy. Jonathan, again, I shan't, but I Fed post in my heart. Yep. Yes, indeed. Simon Bradley says, yo, ho, ho. Howdy, howdy. Jonathan, again, Day was Robin and wearing a hood, so there's that. Yeah, there's a lot of hoods and robbing.
You know, it's funny when I was doing my Robin Hood research. I looked on Hoopla, which is a great app, by the way. Look on there, and I saw, and one of I just typed in Robin Hood just in the search bar, and one of the things that popped up was Robin de Hood, and it was obviously written by a black woman. It was like a romance novel about hood rats or something. Oh, dude, I almost dove into that one. I was like, what is this? Like, who bothered to publish this?
Yeah. You can find all sorts of people to produce all sorts of very interesting, bizarre stuff.
Yep. But I can't get on Hoopla. It's my local. Yeah, I've addressed the library. I'm like, hey guys, I will donate one of my books. You put it in the library. I'm a local author. All this, and they're just like, there's a procedure and we got to do this, but they got a whole section of tranny, gay, whatever, slice it, dice it, deny it, whatever with your business. Got all that. That's cool.
They probably have an approved book list that they pull off of.
It's also a private library.
Book list, yeah.
Our library is private. It's not a public library. It's not a government-backed library. It's just some guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder. I know when you say public library, I know it's tax funded and this, that, and the other. But I wonder if it's at the state level or the county level, or if the feds are coming and dumping money into it. Like, where does that'd be an interesting rabbit trail to go down, is like who actually funds your local library. And another one is who actually uses your local library, because they always target the poor community. It's like we're going to give internet to poor people, and we're going to give books to underprivileged children who can't afford books. And first off, almost nobody can't afford books these days with Amazon. But second off, anytime I go to the library, it is like an enclave of little white school children. I mean, that is who I always see at the library. Often, little girls, probably because they're more studious, and the boys are too busy jumping off of things that are too tall to jump off of, and ending up in the emergency room. At least that's what my little boys seem to be constantly trying to do. All right. Well, without further ado, here is our next story. So some of y'all who were on Twitter the last couple weeks or so might have seen this clip from a Mormon dating show. I don't watch dating shows because I'm a guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Second off, I don't watch Mormon dating shows because I'm a Protestant.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like wrong demographic for me. But there was this seemingly quite sweet little girl who is, I say little girl, she's early 20s, right? She comes on and she makes her play, she makes her little claim. I am so-and-so, and this is what I like. And the way that the show works is, if you're interested, you stand up, right? Now there's a curtain. These people can't see each other. It's a blind date type thing, right? But if you have interest, you kind of stand up and move forward, and then if nobody stands up, then it goes to the next person. And they do it first for the girls and then for the boys, right? So it's equal opportunity. Well, this one girl stood up, had something to say, and let's just watch what happens. Now, because I am a techno illiterate, I made a comment with the little hyperlinks. So Here we go.
Okay, I'm Riley. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified, and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that. And then I just picked up skiing like 2 years ago, and I honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Aww. All right, so that was her play. Yeah, first off, that's the sympathy awe.
Yeah.
That was her play. Like, I'm adventurous. I like to party. I'm a fun, bubbly person, right? Yeah. I know lots of girls like this, and some guys would be all there for it. Okay, I would buy a couple feet of hemp rope if I found myself married to a bubbly girl. I mean, my wife is very calm and very deliberate, and that's what I need in my life. But I know people who are like this, like the cheerleader, right? I have an aunt who's like this. She was a cheerleader, right? And she's just always happy and always excited and just bouncing all the time, just high energy all the time. It's like, man, I would shove my face in a cactus, man. That would be the worst. But some guys, I'm sure, would be very happy to be married to a bubbly, happy girl like this. But
honestly, the first red flag was, I'm from Houston. Nope. Sorry. Sit down. Get out of here.
No, you're from Houston. Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go spend an hour getting on your side of town. I don't want nothing.
But anyway,
I wanted to
here's,
go first because I thought, like I can.
all right. All right, let's see their reaction. Does anybody stand up? If you want to know her more, please step forward. They're just
all
kind of
laughing
looking at each other. Yeah, they're kind of shrugging. And it's not like they're not making fun of her necessarily, but they're just kind of like, not for me. Now, to me, there were a few things. There are a few things that to me seemed like kind of a red flag. First off, her age is mentioned. She's 24 years old, right? So I don't know. The dating scene here is a little odd. There's a lot of, there aren't any teenagers. There's like no 19-year-olds, no 18-year-olds. It's all early 20s to mid 20s, right? So these are people who have been around the block a few times. Kind of like the heel of the bread loaf, right? A lot of people touched it. Nobody's taken it. At some point, you got to wonder if there's something else going on. But I'm not saying that just about the girls. It's about the guys too, right? But anyway.
Riley, I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified, and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that.
She just got scuba dive certified, and she's planning to go to Australia this summer. Who do you think's paying for that?
Who indeed?
Who's paying for these adventures this girl's going on? Now, I would love to be scuba dive certified. I'm probably not quite a good enough swimmer for that. I'm not the world's greatest swimmer.
You don't have to be a good swimmer. They got the oxygen's attached to you. You can just go down.
Yeah, that's right. It's like you don't actually have to swim. You can just kind of hang out. Your air's right there. But going to Australia, I'd love to go to Australia someday. A friend of mine went to Australia on business. His sister has a YouTube channel, and he went to Australia to help produce one of her videos. And it was just tons of fun. He loved it. He was just like, man, the Australian people are great. The climate is great. The country's amazing. Loved it, right? And but somebody had to pay for that. So who's paying for this girl's adventures, right? Well, I'll tell you who's paying for it. Her dad. All right, this girl has a rich dad, and her rich dad is paying for her to go all over the world and have fun. Now, if she gets married, do you think her dad is going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll pay for you and your husband to go on vacation to Australia? Oh, yeah, I'll pay for you and your husband to go scuba diving in Hawaii? Or do you think he's going to be like, no, he needs to get a job and he needs to pay for that?
Yeah. I got cruises to go on, little miss.
Yeah. So there's this weird thing where it's like, no, as soon as you get married, and I've seen this in several marriages, where the dad's paying for everything, exorbitant amounts of everything. She gets married, and he more or less cuts her off. He's like, no, it's your husband now. These guys are in their 20s.
Yeah.
All right. They're not making the money that a 50, 60-year-old guy who's been working for 40, 50 years is making. Right? They don't have retirement funds. They don't, they can't pay for this girl's extraordinary vacations. Maybe that has something to do with why they're not particularly excited about this girl. Not because they don't want a bubbly, happy, adventurous girl, but because they can't afford her. Okay, it would be no different if a girl got up on this show and was like, I like Ferraris and Porsches, and I want to collect expensive cars, right? And the whole time he's sitting there thinking, dude, I drive a forklift, right? I work in a warehouse. How am I going to afford this girl's luxury lifestyle? So that to me was the big thing. It's got nothing to do with her personality. There's a curtain up. They can't see her. It's not that they don't find her attractive. They're looking at each other and they're like, man, I don't think I can swing this. This girl has a quality of life that is higher than what I can provide, and I don't see that changing just because we got, when we get married, all of a sudden that's my responsibility. I don't foresee that going well.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that for this next part, you're probably not going to go over what the guy's reaction. We kind of already saw the guy's reaction, but
I'll play it again a little bit, but go ahead.
Because I saw a lot of people commenting on this. So if you want to go ahead and play it, I'll just kind of talk over it, I guess.
Yeah, I can turn the volume down and you can talk over it as it goes.
Skiing like
skiing again, that's an expensive hobby.
Boy, I got money for that.
Like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan.
And they're all like, so keep in mind, this is the first person, right? They haven't reacted. This is season 1, episode 1, person 1. Oh, yeah, sympathy off.
I wanted to go first because I thought.
And then.
Yeah, she wanted to go first because she's bubbly,
So there was, so there was a moment. They're all kind of like looking back at each other, and I saw somebody commenting on that. Some, who it was like a CREC pastor or something, some absolute loser, because that's
some
all
guy
the
who's
CREC
just absolutely out of touch with reality.
Yes, and he's like, "Oh, look at these insecure guys looking back. They're looking for affirmation from each other." No, they're probably all just like, I'm not into that. Are you into that? Like,
do these guys look insecure?
No. By the way, dude in the front right, I like the cut of your jib, bro. You've got the same
number
kind
17.
Of, yeah. You've basically got what I've got going on at like 15 years earlier than I got it going on. So
him and the other guy in the ball cap. I mean, these guys look like my kind of guys. They'd hop in a 4-wheeler and go out to the middle of nowhere and shoot animals with you.
I've got to say also, dude,
like our guys.
The guy with the mullet. I'm not a fan of the jacket. What kind of whatever it looks like you're wearing balloons or whatever. Yeah. You got to work the sideburns more on that mullet, dude. Like, I know what you're going for, and I'm all for it. Like, I'm all for it. You got to work the sideburns.
You gotta do something about that mustache, man. That mustache.
Yeah,
looks a little creepy, man.
Yeah, it's gotta be. You gotta be nice
and
thick.
Bring it in. Bring it in tighter, more upright. Don't let it curve down on the sides if you don't have a beard to go to.
I think the issue is it's thin.
Trim it real wide.
Yeah, there you go.
Right
yeah, just enough. Yeah.
No, but these guys seem like great guys. I mean, I'm looking at this lineup. These seem like confident, strong, capable guys. There's only like 2 or 3 faces that I'm like, he looks kind of soft. These seem like capable people. Now,
like dude in the back left,
I watch the whole thing, so I don't know.
Dude in the back left needs like some confidence, but he looks like an absolute unit. Like he looks like a like college level football player. But he's just like I don't know, like maybe he just likes to read too much and he hasn't seen his full potential yet.
Bad posture. Sit up, dude. Posture check. But
there's nothing looking at these guys. There's nothing that these goofy CREC pastors should be like, next generation's screwed, bro. Like these guys didn't jump to at pay my way across the world. The other comment that I saw, I thought this is where you were going to go with it because you're saying that daddy's paying for it. Well, I think daddy wink wink is paying for it if that's what she's, if actual biological father is not paying for it. She's got some kind of sugar daddy. And that's what someone was saying. What kind of woman likes to travel unless you're paying for it on your own? Like you're saying, like with a YouTube channel, something like that, or, your husband, which these people by definition don't have. Like if you're just, I'm a single girl, I like to see the world. Yeah, I bet the world likes seeing you too. Cause nobody rides for free. Nobody rides for free.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt because Mormons do have a pretty tight sexual ethic. I mean, it's not a Christian one, but they do have a tighter sexual ethic than a lot of people do. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I mean, her dad's paying for it.
There's a lot of reasons
going to have to pick up the check, and they're not. They know it. They know it.
Yeah, everyone knows that that's a red flag. But people get to that point differently. Like, there's the money issue. There's the, what do you mean you're going around the world? What are you doing while you're around the world? Every woman I've ever known that goes around the world is going around the carousel as well. So
There's
what?
Definitely a lot of that kind of loose moralism tourism going on.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but I wanted to compare and contrast her intro with this guy's. So one of the critiques that people had was, this guy's not, the guys aren't confident, they're shy, they don't know what they're after, right? All right, let's listen to this guy.
I'm Scott. I'm of age. I'm from Carrollton, Georgia. If you don't know what that is, the biggest city nearby is Walmart. I majored in economics at BYU, then found my way to the best city in the world, Baltimore.
First off, no.
I live there because I need to legitimately be able to say that I fall asleep to the sound of sirens every night. Otherwise, I'm going to have no credibility for my rap career. That obviously is not taken off yet. So in the meantime, I'm working at the hospital. I'm the one they send in before your surgery to say, you might live, you might die, but either way, you're not going to have an appendix anymore. And in terms of hobbies, my hobbies include and are limited to cow tipping, tax fraud, and hiking to China in search of my golf ball. So who wants to take that hike with me? In terms of my strategy going in.
All right, so
I want to hear what his strategy is.
Dude, okay, this guy is an absolute Chad. Just like my hobbies are hiking to China to find my golf ball.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this.
I wanted to see who was interested in me, and so I kind of waited around until I had the opportunity to step on the podium to kind of put my own spin on the introduction and apply my sense of humor to it.
Hey, if you'd like to know Scott more, ladies, please step forward.
Where's the outrage?
Yeah.
Where's the outrage? Here's this perfectly eligible guy. He's funny. He's handsome. He's strong. He's confident. And one of the biggest things that, for some reason, and I do not understand this, one of the biggest problems that some Series C pastor commenter guy had about this video was like, these guys don't have hobbies. Like, what's the problem? You don't have hobbies? You don't know how to have a fun hobby? This guy obviously has fun hobbies.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting guy. He's got a very good job. He's got education. And he was able to wrap that all up and give it to you in a 20-second package.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a masterclass in introduction. All right, this guy right here told you who he was, what he likes to do, gave you an approximation of his income bracket, which is good.
Very good, yes.
Very good money. He got an economics degree and he works in a hospital. Like, okay, this guy's making money. All right. He's confident. He's funny, but he's deadpan funny, which takes, a lot of self-control. And this is an excellent candidate.
If I was one of the guys, I probably would have stood up and been like, look, I don't want to date you, but like, I'll definitely hang out with you. Like, you're a cool dude. Like, I'll stand up for you. Forget
the girls. You and I are going hiking.
Let's go. Let's go find that golf ball, bro. Yeah.
I didn't find my soulmate, but I found my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first off, I think this is a problem with kind of the structure of the thing. Okay. Women in general don't pursue, right? So the guy stands up and makes his pitch, and the girl has to come forward if she wants to pursue. Girls don't do that. All right.
Yes.
If you wanted to build a dating show, and this is just me spitballing, I've never done it before, but like the whole concept of guys come forward if you're interested works a lot better than girls step up if you're interested. Because look at these girls. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're looking at each other. They like this guy. All right? Like these are all young, attractive, cute girls, and they're all smiling. This guy could have them wrapped around his finger. Okay? But the reason they're not coming forward is because men propose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, men pursue this. It's not the same. Men and women are not the same, and they don't function the same. And if you try to create a system like a dating show where you treat both sides equally, it's not going to work. But anyway, that's
with
an aside.
the fun hobbies thing. I wanted to. That was Garrett Craw. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Is that the guy, the kung fu master guy?
My wife is hotter than yours, and you're just jealous.
Yeah, he makes his little goofy cartoons, and what you were referring to with the fun hobbies thing. He made a cartoon where it was ostensibly a guy at his church going to the pastor and saying, women today are trash. They don't want to date me, whatever. And the pastor is asking these questions like, do you have a job, or blah, blah, blah. Like, do you own a house? And then when he asks, do you have any fun hobbies? And that was the goofiest one, because that's it. If nothing else, Gen Z and millennials, we've got hobbies. I mean, we've got nothing but hobbies. I mean, you could see like my back shelf is all hobbies. Like, this is all just things that I'm into, right? And
we all have autism. We all have hobbies, and you hate them all.
It's the microplastics,
man. Trust me, you don't want to be involved in my hobbies.
Yeah.
When I married my wife, I didn't tell her, oh, by the way, I have all these hobbies that I want you to participate in.
Yeah.
My hobbies are for the bros.
Yep.
Right. I do hobbies with my buddies. I live life with my wife.
Well, I thought a great comment that our friend Ben Mordecai had made was like a GIF of somebody like gaining power or something like that, and it was this is virginity returning to women when I get some fun hobbies. I was like, well, there you go, bro. Because like that's Garrett Craw is so out of touch. He is the quintessential out of touch CREC pastor. I'm sorry, but like I saw on Twitter today that another CREC pastor bowing the knee to Eli McGowan. Just, oh, no, I swear we don't have any racists in our church, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, grow a spine. People in the pews, go, find a denomination that can pick a confession of faith and stick with it and not just buffet line from all these confessions. Go be a Presbyterian or an Anglican or, Lord willing, a Lutheran. Figure yourself out, dude.
I got to stand up, man. I am a buffet Baptist. All right.
Yeah. Well, okay. Baptist, you're either 1689 or you're a buffet Baptist. I mean, there's only two kinds of Baptists.
I've got the Book of Common Prayer here. I mean, I like a lot of different parts of a lot of different things. I'm very eclectic, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, speaking of, I was going to show this later in the show, but it bears showing now. Let's see.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Joel Webbin. Pastors should not team up with lesbians against their own congregants.
Good for you, Joel. Good for you. Thank you for standing up. No, seriously, if Joel Webbin sees this, thank you for standing up. Thank you for not kowtowing to some dyke over here who does literally all he does with his life is try to get people kicked out of churches. What kind of man is that? Let alone a Christian. What kind of Christian is that? To just be that guy that, man, I can't wait to kick people out of these churches, get them out of the pews. Like, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah. So Eli, in response to one of his posts, Grant van Brimmer, which is a fantastic name, and it's too bad that such a man bears it. But he says, Eli, I pastor at this church. This is not welcome or encouraged in our culture. If this exists, it's hidden. Feel free to listen to our sermons and exhortations to find that this is true. Ooh. Unfortunately, there are often those in our midst who prefer foolish podcasts and talking heads, blah, blah. Eli, that's great to hear. I've enjoyed your posts. I'll DM you with more information about these two. Yeah, Worm Tongue over here. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
my knife has found its mark.
Yeah.
Now I will twist it with relish. Yeah, that is who this disgusting person is. And and then Grant is like, oh, well, please reach out to me next time instead of going public. This was very embarrassing to me. I wish you hadn't done this because this is making me look very bad. So
no one's impressed with you, bro. There's not going to be a single minority or woman or whoever you think is going to be impressed by you kicking just normal working class white dudes out of your church. Nobody is going to be impressed with that. You're not going to increase your numbers. What are you doing, dude?
You're going to decrease your numbers.
Another thing,
because the other guys, even guys who disagree with them, are going to be like, man, you just kicked him out over nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm not waiting to get kicked out because I'm next.
I wasn't going to go down this rabbit trail, but, on kicking people out of the church, there is a reason that Scripture calls that handing them over to Satan. Mm-hmm. If you feel that things have gotten so bad with this person that you're going to hand them over to Satan, then I mean, over what? A post on Twitter? Do you know what happens when people are handed over to Satan? They are destroyed 100% of the time. In some fashion, they are destroyed. Satan does not let people go without getting his pound of flesh. And for people just willy-nilly, get out of the church, no more means of grace for you, Christ's love is not for you, go play around with Satan. That's garbage. These pastors need to be, if they belong to a real denomination, they would be held accountable. I mean, that's my little pot shot at Presbyterian church government, but the whole...
I mean, then at the same time, you've got the LCMS who, in Austin, not very far from me, there is an LCMS church with seemingly a very good LCMS pastor. I've benefited from his videos. I believe
I know who you're talking about. You want to just say his name? Yeah, Wolfmueller.
Mueller. That's right, Wolfmueller. Brian Wolfmueller, who he has a congregant who is an open communist. Yeah. At the beginning of the show, you were talking about communists who say quite openly, the world will never be fixed until the last priest is hung with the entrails of the last king. Right?
Well, let me say, okay, so with the LCMS...
Okay, and he has this guy who is an avowed communist who comes in and is a member there. And, people asked him, well, would you be okay with having an avowed National Socialist? And Wolfmueller has said, yeah, I would be okay with that. To his credit, he said that. I don't know if that's the case. But the LCMS has been on a witch hunt, driving out young men who are Stone Choir listeners because of their National Socialist sympathies, whatever that means. And the Stone Choir group is primarily a theological group. They're arguing about theology. I mean, there are groups and there are people who like to argue about tax policy and socialism and nationalism and communism and the variations between the two and these things and the other. Stone Choir isn't that. All right, they're a religious duo. Right? They have political positions, but primarily they're talking about theology and very esoteric theology. And these people are driving out these young men from their churches because of their positions on esoteric theological views.
You know what bothers me as well? Like, I know everyone says this, the word Nazi gets thrown around too often, right? Something that needs to be addressed is when you and I talk about the war between the states, who the South go to war with? The North, right? We didn't go to war with the Republicans, right? We didn't do that. It was the North. It was the people of the North versus the people of the South. When we talk about World War II, we say we defeated the Nazis. No, we defeated Germany. Mm-hmm. These are Germans. It wasn't like these people just lost their bloodline for 12 years and then we killed them off, and then the bloodline of Germany sprang back in. We killed thousands of or millions, whatever the number. I don't even know what the number. World War II is considered the bloodiest war. I don't know what the actual
absolutely.
death count is, but it's huge. Whatever it is, I'm not like a scholar on World War II, but we killed. I won't say murder because it's war. We killed Germans, women, children, and of course men. We killed Germans. Like, so this whole idea of like, oh, we're Americans, we kill Nazis. No, we killed Germans. And I don't think that it was worth it. I think it's silly that we did it. Like, I get the revenge tour for Japan. Like, Japan asked for it, honestly. like you don't just go blow up a whole naval base and well, I'm talking about Pearl Harbor. They can do whatever they want in Asia land.
China.
Yeah, whatever you're doing there, I don't care. But don't go blow up my boats, because I mean that now you're talking about my people, right? Germany didn't do nothing like that. You can talk about Zimmerman note or whatever, but nothing actually came of that. We invaded their country and we killed a bunch of them. I say we as like the royal we. Obviously, I was not alive in the 40s. But that bugs me tangentially. We need to start saying the Germans, because that's who they were. That was their political party, sure. But like I said, we don't talk about the Republicans came down and burned Georgia. Technically, that's true, but we don't say that, right? You know what I mean? It's dehumanizing to just call a whole group of people by their political party, because then you can say, well, we only killed the bad guys. We don't kill good guys. It bothers me. And so, on top of that, don't be calling people Corey Madler likes to call himself a Nazi. Let's be real. Like he likes that, but
he's being an edgelord. That's really what it comes down to. Is he gets pushback from people on Twitter. He says something, people freak out. More people start tuning in to be like, dude, this guy's really unhinged. And then they listen to the show and they're like, oh, esoteric theology. Yeah. And some of them stay for the listen because it is interesting stuff and well put together. And they're both very intelligent people.
And so I know that the Calvinists and Calvinist adjacent people aren't going to agree with this interpretation, but I want to say it's in the Epistle of James, where he talks about destroying your brother for whom Christ died. Right? That's who you're handing over to Satan. Somebody that Christ died for, who is ostensibly your brother, right? I mean, he's a fellow human being. He's someone you should care about. And those are the people you're just like throwing off. Well, he was a Nazi, he was a bad guy, whatever. So we kill those people we don't care about. He's a human being. We talk about, people will drag their balls over broken glass to call some pygmy made in the image of God, but you won't call the dude who looks just like you're made in the image of God. Like, well, like I don't understand this. And the only reason that we really pick on the CREC is because that's all that these pastors do. They just, they do a service on Sundays. I get that. And they probably make house calls sometimes, whatever. But I don't know how they have time to do that when all they do is go on Twitter and try to witch hunt and try to get people kicked out of churches and hand it over to Satan. And they act like it's just, pish posh. Didn't like the guy anyway, screw him. That's not a pastor's heart, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, care. Like, you're supposed to be the guy. If nobody else cares, you're supposed to be that guy. You get paid. That's another thing that really irks me. I can see that you're getting like the 1,000-yard stare listening to me talk like this, but like the
what it is it's boiling rage.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. It's like when Doug Wilson, of all people, goes after this. Doug Wilson makes his living off of just being Doug Wilson. That's what he does. He gets paid to be Doug Wilson. And with that money that he gets from the hardworking people or the little old ladies in the church that are given their money, he takes that and then he persecutes Christians. That's what he does with it. And that's what all these CREC pastors do. That's what that whole organization is built off of, is persecuting Christians. And it drives me insane, dude. I remember when I was in in another life, this is like 10 years ago, when I was in school to be a pastor. It was a partially scholarshiped program for pastors in what at the time I was in the SBC. So it was, and we had a professor who was saying when people would like slack off, he would say, little old ladies are who's donating to this program. Do right by the little old ladies. Don't be some slacker. If you got homework to do your homework. If you need to study for a test, go study, because they are paying their money. Some man worked in a factory his whole life, and then a year after he retired, he died. And this little old lady has that pension or what, whatever money she has on her fixed income, and she throws her two little mites out there so that you can go to school and not break the bank. By the way, this is do I have it? Oh yeah. That's what this is. You could buy these. These are really common. These are found all the time. This is an actual widow's mite from ancient Judea. I don't know if I can
get that to focus.
Focus. Kind of. Anyways, that's what it is. That little thing, that's the two of those. Some I want to say it was two, right? It wasn't just one mite. I want to say it was two mites. Yeah. Do right by this lady that threw two little scraps of it. It's like not even a precious metal. Is essentially like it's just a little piece of nothing. And
it's the modern equivalent would be a penny. It's very, very low value. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though pennies have less than no value because they have a piece of garbage's face on it.
You melt them and the value goes up.
Yeah.
Actually, literally, because they're worth more than a penny melted down just by the raw metal.
I'm going to start doing that. No, I'm not.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's I know we've been dogging on the CREC, mostly you, but I'll partake as well. The thing is, I think there is a distinction to be made between Twitter and the local church, because I know some guys who go to CRE churches, and some of them are great, and I know some churches that started out great, and then the pastor shaved his beard off and became an absolute pansy, and it was a very weird situation. It was like he made his position known. Doug Wilson called him on the phone. He said, "You're going to do X, Y, and Z." He cut his beard off and he did it.
Really?
What
does the beard have to do with it, though?
It was just a sign of his emasculation. Man. But, I'm sure there are many churches, and I'm sure in the LCMS too, the LCMS who is persecuting good Christian young men right now, there are very good LCMS churches. There's one by me. As I've mentioned before, I'm a Baptist, but during Christmas time, I go to the LCMS church
cool.
because I love the high church atmosphere. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but LCMS, for some reason, nobody in the LCMS can carry a note. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I've been to 100 LCMS churches. Yeah. My wife's family are predominantly Lutheran, so like every funeral or wedding, it's like in a Lutheran church, and we'll go there on the weekend before headed home, and it's like nobody can sing all over Texas. It's consistent.
I need by the way, have you ever been to a Good Friday Lutheran service?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Dude, that to me is my favorite. Good Friday just hits different in at least at my church. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And the fact that it ends, usually like in a sermon, it's like, okay, I'll talk about my thing and then make a beeline to the cross, right?
Yeah.
But here, it's like you're talking about the cross and the whole service about the cross, and then you take the book and then boom. Think about that until Sunday. No resurrection. Just it's just, you know what I mean? Like, and that is what makes it like that much powerful. It's just because we so often think about the cross without, or we think about the cross and we're like, yeah, but the resurrection. But like, really think about, I mean, like Saturday, that Holy Saturday, like what is going through these people's heads? They finally gotten some sleep, or they didn't, and you know, now they're like, well, what now, dude? I just gave at least 3 years of my life to walking around being homeless, and
I thought this was going to be, you know, the end of the world and the beginning of all things great, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done a Good Friday, or I might have, but I don't remember it. But I do know that we tend to go to the local Lutheran church. Actually, it's not the local one. There's about 2 that are closer, but it's a good Lutheran church.
It's the closest.
We'll go there. The others are okay, but it's the building was built in the 1800s, and most of the parishioners were probably 2.
Love that.
And so. You know, it's a very old timey feel, and the pastor is just a really wonderful, excellent man. But we've gone to Easter sunrise services and things like that, and it's just, you know, it's a good feeling. I really like it. But anyway, that aside, let's go back to the comments. Picking up here with Jonathan Davis talking about Allie. He said she's Scottish, married a Texan. She's a good lady. Yep. All right. Glad to hear it.
She is. That's it. I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah. Simeon Bradley says that bread heel X.
You got to see that. This is what he was trying to say. That bread heel analogy is gold.
Bread heel analogy is gold. Yeah. It's not mine. I stole it. I'm not much of an original thinker. I'm a systematic thinker, not an original thinker. Jonathan says, last time I saw Jeffrey, he looked like he came out from a 6-week trapping job in Alaska. Yeah, every once in a while things get a little wild, and I try to bring it back in and tame it down a bit. I don't know when that would have been, but it's happened a few times. Jonathan again says, dude's mullet is okay. Yeah, the mullet looked good. It was sideburns and the mustache.
He needs something going on with the sideburn. I'm not saying they have to be like crazy like Elvis Presley sideburns, but you got to have something going on.
I'll say it. He needs to have Elvis Presley sideburns.
Oh, well, I mean, that's ideal. Sure.
Actually, I have a friend, and he has small features. So it's like take his face, only make it smaller.
Like Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, like Charlie Kirk. And it does look weird a little bit, but he has big sideburns, and it actually kind of brings the face together, you know?
Okay.
So when I saw him without sideburns, I was like, he looks kind of... I hadn't noticed the small face before, but maybe this is what this guy needs too. Let's see. Reformed Rogue, good man. Give him a... if you know who this is, you know who this is. He says there's also nothing indicating that she wants a family either. Yeah. I mean, adventure boss babe girl. Does she want to settle down? Does she want to stay at home, or does she want to gallivant across the globe? Right? It's like, I don't want to marry a wife who doesn't want to have kids because it'll slow her down. And I don't know if that is the case here, but she certainly did not send any signals to the contrary.
Yeah. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Having children, once you take children out of the equation, crazy things start happening. So, like, I personally, I wouldn't have gotten married if not for the desire to have children. Like, why would I? Right? Like, I can just, if the milk is free and no one's got their cows behind a fence, and I can just, hey, give me some of that milk. Why not? Right? But there's benefits to monogamy, and having kids in a stable home is one of them. But yeah, that's where, homosexuality comes into the equation. Well, if I'm not having kids, then sex is just for pleasure, and I can have that with some guy. I cannot, but you could, because
I mean, it's like, if you take the idea of children out of it, what is the purpose of getting married at all? Yeah, it's like, if I wanted to live that kind of lifestyle, I could just live in a college town and date a new college girl every 3 years. And, the perks would be, I get older, but they stay the same age, and I'm getting all of the milk for free, right?
All
My
right.
income goes up. Yeah. It's like, if you have these, you have to realize the world runs on incentives, good and bad. And one of the reasons that we need good laws is to get rid of bad incentives. But in a society that does not value children, you're going to have that problem where people who don't want children, they're not going to get married. They're just not going to. They don't have the desire. There's no legal binding. It's like all of the laws about marriage are against men. Like the apostles said to Jesus, it'd be better for a man never to marry, right? It's that bad. The only reason men are getting married today is because they want to have children. And even a lot of guys are not getting married and they're having kids out of wedlock, and that's not great. Yeah, we need to get rid of that, stomp that out. Jonathan Davis, dang, right between the eyes. I'm AFB, Steven Anderson, non-Dispy style. Glad to hear it. I would prefer that you throw a little Calvinism in there. I know Steven Anderson's really opposed to it, but I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with my IFB brothers, especially the non-Dispy type.
I would as well. Obviously, that's where I come from, is Baptist Church.
Yeah, I grew up very strict IFB, and I'm still pretty strict, fairly IFB. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Reformed Rogue, I'm in the Series C and my patience is running out.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's bad.
It should be. That means you're alive.
Yep. He says, this is part of getting rid of the PWC, the post-war consensus. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. Sean on fire.
On fire. Is that like
I'm not
Dabney
sure.
on fire?
Yeah. I'm not
I'll
really
take
sure
it.
what he's referring to, but yes.
Just my rant, I'm in a mood lately, dude. Like this, when I see
let it out. I love it.
It's the church should be a safe haven. That's really what it comes down to. I don't think that a lot of these pastors that are on Twitter and they're doing their little, I'm gonna put all these working guys down. They don't understand what some people are going through.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've never had a job in their life.
Yes, dude. And
they
that's
went straight
so
from
frustrating.
high school to college, straight from college to seminary. They spend 20 years in school before they ever touch a pulpit, and they've never had a real job.
Yeah. It was weird when there's the meme that using your GI Bill is like Billy Madison, where he's like in the little tiny desk and it's just a bunch of kids around him, but he's like obviously an adult. And it is like that. And it was funny because I had already joined the army kind of late. And so like by the time I was using my GI Bill, I was 23-ish, I want to say, and married. So it was like all these kids that are like 18 and what do naked girls look like? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And but it was funny because sometimes the liberal, like really proud liberal type kid would in the program would come at you, and I'd be like, look, dude, I've lived more of life already than these professors have. All right. Like all this, I've seen what the third world looks like, and you wouldn't last a day. Don't come. You know what I mean? Like you get fired up because there's people who haven't stepped out of this comfort zone. What we have suburbia, that's not normal for history, for any
in the history
nation,
of the world. Yeah.
yes, it's not normal. Usually around this time, some bigger empire would come through and just bulldoze us. That's usually what happens. Or or you are the bulldozing empire like we kind of are now, and you're about to live through it crumbling. So that's why I get worked up. I appreciate the acknowledgement of just, because right now, like, I'm very upset with the status quo. I love my pastor. My pastor's a great guy. I'm not gonna dog on him or nothing. He's like my he's my Friar Tuck. He's a good dude. Like, he'll he's not averse to
he'll back you in a fight, right?
Yes, he's a good dude. And so but the best thing that he does is he doesn't get on social media and try to cozy up to Eli McGowan and all that. He's got a Facebook for from what he told me, emergency use. Well, if someone needs me to have it, I got it. It's ready. I could use it. He never goes on it. And so it's and he's not on Twitter. So I appreciate those guys so much more. The guys who their only real media, it's not even media. Like, they're available on the phone. You know what I mean? For a while, he was living in the parsonage, which is down the street from me. And so it's like, bro, I gotta talk to you. I'm gonna show up at the parsonage, which isn't nice. I understand that, but I was going through some stuff. He was there, yeah. So, anyways, I can go on forever.
Yeah. And then let's see. Max says, "Hey, I've been taking Canadian pennies over the border for some time now. Made millions." Well, first off, that's a felony. So don't admit to a felony on the internet.
Yeah.
Second off, that's obviously a joke.
Yeah.
Because you're not making millions off of pennies.
Yeah. Mac is just a character that I play in the comment section. You missed my boy Chris here. Chris Hookins. Chris, I have not talked to you in a long. I haven't talked to you in a long time because I don't do the Facebook thing. I'm like, I nuked social media for reasons that people know. But the Chris is a great.
What does this refer to? Probably the post-war consensus thing. Part of getting rid of the post-war consensus.
Just my rant. Yeah, I guess my rant. But Chris, I love. He's a very. If I'm not mistaken, you're the guy that bought Dunamai like at midnight and had it read before I woke up the next morning. Like, it went live. Yeah, it went live. I was like, what was that? Like, he's definitely one of the people that he always leaves a review on Amazon, and they're very thoughtful reviews. You could tell that he cared about what I had to say in those books. So I always really appreciate him. If you need to reach out, you can get my number, or we can talk on.
He can
Telegram,
reach out to me, and I can get your number to him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because we have means and ways of getting in touch with each other.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm only in the back rooms right now. This I always appreciate when people are saying good things about me. Reform Rogue again says, "Man, Sean and I are on a very similar wavelength right now. To be fair to my elder, we do have a good relationship despite his problems with some of my retweets." Well, like I said, like my pastor would have a problem with my social media probably if actually, I don't know. Like, one of the first things that he ever said to me was, "Lincoln didn't free a single slave." I was like, "Oh man, do I got an ally here? Like, what's going on here, man? Like, is this?"
Yeah,
I don't know. So
very true, very true.
I also had a one of the elders, so not the pastor, but one of the elders gave me. Do I have it here or no? It's a beer can with like a Confederate Army on it. It's really cool. It's like a collector's can type thing. He was like, "Hey, I saw some of your stuff." I think it's open and train.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just like I've had this for a while, and I saw you post something. I thought you'd appreciate this. I'm like, dude, this is so cool. I got it on another bookshelf somewhere, but so some people in the church, they know my power level.
Yeah. He says, did we read it out loud?
I did, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He mentioned about the retweets. There you go. Yeah. Well, it looks like that's about it for the show. Just one.
Are you done, or do you want to shoot the breeze a little bit?
I'm here to shoot the breeze a little
all
bit.
right.
I have
I
one
can chat.
thing that I want to mention, which is this right here. So I do not know why, but Subscribestar has not been complying. I have sent email after email begging them, what is going on? What is going on? Nobody will talk to me. I get an email back that says your profile is up, it's open, it's no longer under review. And then I go back to Subscribestar and it is not. So we're going to have to figure something else out.
OnlyFans.
I will not. I refuse.
We could be, you know what we could be is like the guys on, there was a guy that was famous. He was on like Reddit and stuff. And he would put videos on one of the pornography sites, but it was like him in a suit, and he would like be in the shower, and it's like, I take a shower with you, but no funny business. Or it would be like, I tuck you in, and then you go to sleep.
And then I leave.
Yeah, it was like stuff like that. And his videos were so popular that he ended up getting whatever award you get for like thousands of views. Like, but like we could be those guys on OnlyFans.
No, I won't do it. I mean, there was a while when before Elon Musk bought Twitter, there was a moment in time when you could not post certain things, and people's shows were getting nuked, and people's church programs were getting taken down during COVID. Because it was like, if you were live streaming a church service during COVID and you had a full service, people would be taking down your church service because you were participating in unsafe activity and promoting unsafe activity. And so there were people saying, hey, let's go over and post our videos to Pornhub because they're the free speech beacon. You can say or do whatever you want over there. And supposedly, I don't know if it's true, supposedly some people did. But I just think that's, I think there are other options, right? We can figure something else out before that happens. I'll probably look into Buy Me a Coffee, which to me doesn't seem like it's a subscription-based thing. It's kind of a one-time dealio, like, hey, here's $1, here's $5, just here and there, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm not doing it for the money anyway. But it would be good to get some of these costs comped, especially as we're rolling around into a new year. And I'm going to have to re-up on the subscription to this thing because the software, dude, the subscriptions to the software, that's where they get you, man. It is they've got you over a barrel, and they know it. It's one thing, if you need something but they don't know you need it. It's another thing if they know. They're going to take you for all you're worth.
Dog, my wife just came in with some pizza rolls, pizza pockets, whatever these are. Freaking bomb, dude.
Man, I got some banana bread at work today, man.
Dude, I showed that to my wife. She loved that.
Dude, one of my favorites. You know, I think I have pizza rolls in the freezer. Beth, do I have pizza rolls in the freezer? I might be doing that. Hey, warm those up for me, will you? Chris Hookin says, yep, been staying off most social media lately. It's better for my soul. Thanks, gentlemen. Yeah, I get it, man. It's it can be wearying sometimes.
Chris, if you have Telegram is usually how I keep up with most of my people, either one-on-one or in a group chat or whatever. If you want to keep up, if you want to keep up, I mean, maybe Maybe you're one. You know what, dude? I'm so bad with keeping up with whose profile because not everyone just goes by their name. And so sometimes I'm just like, oh, that was you I've been talking with for 5 years?
Yeah. I was in a group chat one time, and a guy dropped in and started bad-mouthing someone else. And it turned out that someone else was in the group chat under an alt. And it was quite hilarious to watch it all fall out. They had bad blood, and they were both kind of misbehaving. So it was almost like a no-fault divorce. It was like, yeah, you're both bad people. Anyway, that group chat does not exist anymore for obvious reasons.
This is my favorite comment ever. Just started reading Thello. I appreciate that. That is my favorite thing. Honestly, Jeff pays a lot of things out of his pocket, so he could actually use some money donations. But the best way you could support me is just buy my books. Hopefully my Robin Hood book will be, come hell or high water, it's going to be for sale. I don't know who's going to be publishing it or if I'm publishing it myself, but going through that process. But when people say that they've read my books, in fact, the number one comment that I usually get from people is, I read all of Thello in one sitting. That is the number one thing people say. And they're like, dude, I just didn't feel like putting it down. So some people do. I can't. When I was going through the editing process for Dunamai, I reread Thello. I don't know how people read that in one sitting. I might be a slow reader, or I just read. I'm very particular about my reading because I can't read something without also editing it in my head. Like, I find errors in the textbooks all the time. That's just how I wish I could get a job editing.
I hate it. I hate it when I do it with my own work, because like that was hotter than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I'll do it with my own work where I'll read it back. And, it's like, I don't know mentally how this works, but it's like, I'll be reading something and editing it and writing it. And I'll be like, okay, do all the tricks you heard in college, right? Read it backwards, word by word and all that. And then I'll put it in and it'll be sent back to me, and I'll start reading. I'll be like, oh my word.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? How did this pass muster?
I went through three whole revisions with my Robin Hood book to get to where it's at right now. But I've got to say, like, I just kept doing revisions because I loved it so much. I was like, as I was reading it, it was like, this has been, there's a process. If you've never written a novel, there's a thing. If it's in your head and you can't get it out of your head, and you write it down and it's finally gone, right? It's finally out there. That's what Thello was. It was just making me angry that this story was in my head and I had to get it out. I never planned on writing a sequel, but then the sequel was just, it was in my head. It's like a how pearls are formed, where it's like one little impurity falls into your head, and then and they do, the clams do the or oysters, is it, whatever it is that makes pearls. That's what they're doing. They're actually trying to roll the impurity out, so we can actually make pearls now, and we could choose the color and stuff by what kind of impurity we just place into these poor oysters.
and what kind of food we feed them.
Yeah, and they'll just sit there rolling it around in their mouth. Oh, let me get this out of here. And what they end up doing is creating a pearl. And that's how I feel with writing stuff. But man, dude,
there was a fad a while back where they would take a gemstone and drop it into an oyster, and then the thing would turn the gemstone into a pearl, and then they would cut in from each side to the gemstone, and then they would facet just the part of the gemstone they could see, and so you'd have a pearl with a gem that you could get light through on both sides. And it would be, a pendant or an earring or whatnot. It was very cool, but very expensive, obviously. So very interesting, because of course these gems would be manufactured.
Yeah.
I won't say artificial, because they're real gems, right?
Yeah.
But then they're inside of a manufactured pearl as well. But because it's all in a very controlled situation, The gem is perfectly clear with no impurities. The pearl is perfectly white and smooth. It's just like the ability they have to make the whole thing, to scientifically get down to the nitty gritty of what works and create something like that is, to me, just absolutely fascinating. That's another thing is watch crystals. This one here is yeah, look familiar?
Yeah. I know that guy.
There you go. This is the Casio Easy Reader for anybody who's curious. The Easy Reader with the day date, highly recommend.
Yeah.
But
It's
watch
beautiful,
crystals.
by the way.
If they are crystal, they're typically sapphire, so pure that they're translucent and manufactured to be the size and shape that they are, and very affordable for a sapphire. Amazingly affordable for a sapphire. And just the idea that you have what is equivalent to a ruby the size and shape of a quarter walking around on your hand. And the majority of people who buy nice watches don't even know it. You have a translucent ruby the size and shape of a quarter walking around on your hand. Mind-blowing.
It's really
Isn't that cool?
You know, the fatal flaw in pearls is that once plastic was developed, you could have perfect circular thing that it looks like it imitates a perfect pearl. You can't do that with gold. There's nothing fake that actually looks as good as gold. But plastic, if you just have plastic, I mean, you make a fat piece of plastic for nothing, and that looks like $1 million pearl.
Yeah,
and so
it doesn't feel like it though. I've handled my wife's pearls in one hand, and you know, the plastic fake ones in another. And it's like one has weight and one is very light. And it's like they have a feel to them that's very, very nice. Kind of like with gold, you know, you can have bronze stuff. It'll still never be as nice as gold, but it can get close. But then you'll hold it in your hand, and it's like you can feel the weight of gold and just know, okay, this is the real thing. Have you ever held an ounce of gold?
Oh yeah.
And you feel it, and it's like, man, that shouldn't be that heavy for how small it is. It's really, I think there's a metaphysical thing about gold that just when you feel it, you know.
Yeah. Gold is the heaviest thing in the river. The second heaviest,
you can get it.
Yep. The second heaviest thing is whatever that black stuff is. That's
I
right
don't know if it's
it.
granite or, I mean, anywhere you find gold, you always find that black granite, salty.
Because it's the second heaviest thing, which is convenient because then it makes the gold really stick out in your pan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, bro! When I found it wasn't a nugget, but it was a piece of what's called picker. So it's smaller than a nugget, but bigger than a flake. And bro, the first time I ever found that, and just literally, like, I was like, "Eureka!" Because I know that's what people are supposed to say.
Just hooping and hollering.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's the Eureka is the official motto of the state of California, and it comes from the Greek word which means I found it. So that's when you say Eureka, that's like, that was also what was it Socrates that ran out of the tub naked shouting Eureka when he figured out
it was
who am I thinking of? Some Greek philosopher just running down the street naked. I figured it out. Like
it had to do with displacement. Because he discovered how to weigh gold.
While you're looking for that, a fantastic short story about pearls is called "The Pearl." It's by John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck is one of my top 2 favorite authors, at least.
Archimedes.
Oh yeah, there you
go. Shouted it upon discovering Archimedes' principle while taking a bath in Syracuse. The word eureka is ancient Greek for I have found it, and the story tells of Archimedes' joyful realization that the water level in his bath rose due to the volume of his body, a concept that allowed him to measure the volume and density of irregular objects, such as the king's crown.
That's
I
pretty
don't know
cool.
if it wasn't. I don't know if it
Oh, it
was
was volume.
crown.
It was
I believe
volume.
it
That
was,
makes more sense.
Yeah, it was volume displacement, because the king came to him with an object, which was a gift, and he was like, okay, a little embarrassing, but I don't trust that this is actually gold that was given to me. But I can't melt it down. I have to save face. So I need you to find out if it's gold all the way through. Because, it could have, a gold coating on it that's pretty decent, but I can't damage it. Because obviously, if it is gold, the guy's going to be very offended at me. And but if it's not gold, I need to be very offended at him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, I realized that my weight and volume displaces a certain amount of water. And it's like, okay, because gold is heavier, and you can take the weight versus the displacement and cross-reference them against each other and find out if there's like a big core of tin or something on the inside based on the volume. All right, let's see. Jonathan says, dang, had no clue about the watch crystal gem thingy. Yes, pretty cool, isn't it? Really cool. Gold. You know me, Jeffrey.
Jeff did a fantastic episode about watches.
Right. Yeah, and
if you have not watched it,
Jonathan,
we did a...
I believe Jonathan and I are in a gold buying group together, gold and silver trading stuff.
Oh.
The market's been really weird right now because it's really hard to get your hands on anything decent. Prices are up and they're never down. And when they come down, it's not for the little guy buying little bits here and there, But yeah, good dude. All right. Well, let's see. Any closing thoughts or shop that you wanted to talk? Or
I would like to. I would like to share a quote that I got in this book here by our nation's third president, Thomas Jefferson. This is a bizarre book, by the way. It's called Understanding Thomas Jefferson. I grabbed it at a thing where price wasn't an issue, so it was either at the local library's book giveaway type deal. However, because basically what happens at the library is people donate so many books and they're like, guys, we can't put all these out in the library. We only have so much space.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have doubles or whatever the issue is. And so what they do twice a year is they do a sale. And for any price, any donation you want to give, you can just pick up books. And every once in a while you find something. And I was like, you know what? One of these days I'm going to want to learn about Thomas Jefferson more. And today was that day, or this week has been that day, that week, whatever. But I want to share a quote that would make an excellent closing thought. He says he wrote this he was in Paris at the time, and he wrote to his daughter. This is a crazy thing to have in a letter to your daughter, but he said, "It is part of the American character to consider nothing as desperate, to surmount every difficulty by resolution and contrivance." And I like the idea that who to me is our nation's foremost founding father is Thomas Jefferson. That's what I personally believe. Maybe he's not the guy I agree with the most, but I believe that for better or for worse, he is the man who put his fingers all over America the most. He's the author of the Declaration of Independence. That is our founding document, not our Constitution. We had that was the document that said we are now a separate nation from England. We are not English anymore. We are American. But I like that idea that even then he is saying that what defines us as a people is we see something that we want done. We see an issue. We don't just come up with problems. We come up with solutions, and we have the will to do it. I think it was Teddy Roosevelt said that coming up with or bringing up problems without bringing up solutions is just whining. That there is this American
enough.
spirit. Yeah, it's so important for people who I hope you're understanding this. It's so important to ground yourself in who you are as a part of a people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that. And for most of us, that's going to be American, right? That's what we are. We're Americans. There's been some debate amongst our guys lately about, well, is a Southerner a different person than a Northerner or whatever? You could say yes, but it's just different types of Americans. That there is something. Thomas Jefferson was a Virginian. Okay, that is, at least in the beginning, that was the foremost Southern state. I mean, it became the capital of the Confederacy. There's a lot of reasons to say that Virginia was the foremost Southern state. And that, well, another reason
it absolutely was, as much as New York was the foremost Northern state.
Well, there's a reason that Washington, D.C. is put where it's at. Because Virginia knew that they were top dog. And they said, well, we want the capital in our state. And then Maryland or whatever's on the other. I know Maryland's close on the other side. Delaware, I believe, is close too. But basically, it's on the border. It's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Virginia was like, well, we're going to be close to that. So, and yeah, the first president was from Virginia. Third president was from Virginia. I mean, Virginia was just a big deal. But all that to say that there is a such thing as an American if you are, in fact, a descendant of that. Oh, and then before I forget the Southern thing, I'm probably less than half true Southern stock. So I am an American mutt of sorts, right? I have my pride in different areas and different parts of my heritage. My mom's side, they trace their people back to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a big thing. Anyways, there is a such thing as an American. If you are one of those people in this world that are known as an American, just understand these things about you. When you read this quote from Thomas Jefferson, that he's talking about you. He's saying that this is your heritage. This is what defined him and the people, his neighbors at the founding of the nation. And it's what defines you because that's what's in your blood. You know, just like it's in Scottish woman's blood to pull out sharp objects when a foreigner approaches her. It's in your blood to go out, change the things that you don't like, and come up with a plan, not accept the things you cannot change. That's what alcoholics say. But Americans say, I see that thing. I don't like it. I'm changing it. I got the resolve to do it, and I got the will to do it.
There was a very interesting thing as I was reading stories of GIs in World War II, especially in North Africa, where Americans would have a vehicle problem and they would just get out and fix it. And the Brits would have a vehicle problem and they'd call for someone to come fix the problem. And it was just, it wasn't just the skill difference that Americans were motorheads and mechanics, whereas Brits weren't. But it was also just the idea of, hey, we can make it work. We can figure it out. We can make this happen. Whereas the British had this concept of, oh, well, let's call in the experts and we'll let the experts deal with this. The Americans were like, no, hang the experts. I'm the expert.
Yeah,
I'll do it. You know, hand it to me. I'm not the world's best mechanic, but I can get this thing rolling again. You know, I'm not the world's best gunsmith, but I can figure out why this thing's not shooting straight. You know, there were just certain things that the Americans had a different concept of what was achievable. And there was also another thing that showed up a couple times, which is quite funny. And it's a turn of phrase. The Americans would come to the British and they'd say, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z. And the British would say, well, that would be very difficult. Now, when the Brits would say this, they meant by that can't be done. We won't do that. And the Americans would say, okay, how difficult? Well, it would be very inconvenient. Well, it would set us back quite a bit. that would be quite impractical. And the Americans would be like, okay, yeah, impractical, okay. How impractical?
Yeah.
they would just do it. They would go and do the impractical, impossible thing. They would just go do it. And that is an admirable national trait. For people who say, there's no such thing as nations, there's no such thing as people, there's no such thing as ethnicities. That is an ethnic trait of the ethnic American. The heritage American is a problem-solving man who won't take no for an answer.
One thing, I'm just going to mention this because I want posterity to record it, but one of the cool things, as an example of this, was in Afghanistan, we got these new vehicles called MATV, and they had these really cool MATVs. Are cool, man. That's what I got to be a gunner out of. If you ever look it up, like they're just really, really cool. Yeah, I did the 50 cal probably twice, but I did the 240 Bravo quite a bit, and because what we did was for those curious, we had the 50 cal would be on the front gun truck and the rear gun truck, and then dispersed throughout. I was like, what word am I looking for? There would be gun trucks that were interspersed. That's an even better one. Yeah. There would be gun trucks with a 240 Bravo. So the idea was that, okay, on the road, I can put this M250 cal through a engine block, right? But, guy coming up to me out of the field, well, he's getting lit up with the 240. He's getting the like that kind of thing going on. Because that's how you sit. That's how you actually put your hand on the stock, and then you have the trigger with your right hand. So that's how you keep it from just like vibrating your face off. Yes, this is what I'm about to talk about actually right here. That MacGyver is the heritage American mindset. What we did. Right. The trucks come with this really cool internal communication system. So we could all wear headsets. So, and that's why American Kevlars have like it comes out like it's like a huge flap. So there's like the head shape, but then it has a huge flap. And that's because you could put these headphones under there. And it came with like from what I remember, it had like a Britney Spears microphone type thing where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
I do, but that's not the reference.
I always, you know what? I always
that's not
call
what I would
have
thought of, but yeah.
I always call it that because one of my CBU professors would call it like he made a reference one time. He was like, because it's a pastor training program, he was saying, most of you guys aren't going to be the guy up on the stage with like thousands of people in the crowd with a little Britney Spears microphone, and that's how you're giving sermons. And I like that stuck with me, calling it the Britney Spears microphone. So we wanted to be able to listen to music at the same time, but you can't just put in headphones. Like you can't put earbuds under it because then you can't hear. So what we did was we found a way that we could take our iPods. Now, for those of you children who don't know what an iPod is, it's an MP3 player. We hook up the iPod, and we somehow messed with the wires so that we could play music, and then everyone in the truck was hearing it through their headphones. But when we spoke, when we clicked whatever the thing was, so there was like I want to say there was a thing on the wire that you click, and that's how you can talk. Because
it wasn't squelch, because just the vehicle noise would be constantly turning that on.
Yeah. So you click that, and then the music would go off, and you could clearly speak to each other. So it was perfect. There was no danger, right? Like the music wasn't cutting anyone off. Like if they were speaking, because I couldn't talk to my driver without it. It was so well. I was in a convertible, right? Like I had kind of walls this way, but nothing above my head. So like in the turret,
danger of getting JFK'd.
Yeah, that's always by the time I was in 2011 in Afghanistan, they had pretty good coverage around you. We had a pretty good blast shield. I felt safe, or I just didn't care enough. I don't know, but anyways, we rigged that. They didn't know that their system could do that, right? They didn't hook it up that way, but we went and did whatever, when the first person figured it out, then, explained it to everyone else. Yeah, now everyone's got it. And that was our MacGyver moment. So I want to make sure that when people write the books about Afghanistan, that was something that the American troops went and jerry-rigged. Cool story with that one time. I think about this every time I hear this song, even though I heard it a million times before this event. But the Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust, because it was my iPod. It was my iPod day, right? So you go on these 12-hour convoys. It's like, okay, whose turn is it to be the music guy? So it was mine.
Am I going to be stuck listening to Kevin's stupid music again?
Yeah,
all 12 hours.
Yeah, we were generally kind to each other, but the Another One Bites the Dust was playing, and it was in a moment where it was the closest I ever got to shooting someone, because this dude was just creeping on us. We were stuck at it was so stupid. We were escorting jingle trucks to another place. They had fuel. They had our fuel in their trucks. So it's some local guy. It's how we were winning hearts and minds, employing jingle truck drivers, whatever. But we had to guard it. We had to go on the convoy with them. And this is a good one for the 50 cal music is Hit Me Baby One More Time. Yeah. Well, you don't need to hit him a second time if it's the 50 cal. You'll
that's right.
Yeah.
You'll get the job done the first time.
You hit them once, that'll suck their mouth out through their butthole. That'll blow them out. But anyways, it was like we were stuck in a huge roundabout. Like, I'm talking huge English 3-lane roundabout, but without lanes because it's Afghanistan. So, and it's in the middle of a city, and I'm sitting there and I'm telling my lieutenant, I'm like, if he comes to another side, I'm going to shoot him. He's like, don't fucking shoot. Oh, sorry, I can't say that on the air. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. So it was, but then I got Freddie Mercury in my ear telling me Another One Bites the Dust. So that's why I think.
Don't shoot him.
Yeah. So it was that happened to be the song that was playing.
Got one on each shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Freddie Mercury. Oh, go ahead, shoot him.
And the poor butter bar on the other end, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'll have to fill out paperwork.
Yeah. I have to count the ammo later.
That's right. By hand, myself.
Yeah. Anyways, you can go ahead and close. I just wanted to talk about that.
No, that's a good quote. You shared it in the group chat earlier, and I was just like, man, that is just so perfectly an encapsulation of the American spirit. And I think it's the result of sort of a selection moment where the people from the old country, be that England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Sweden, Germany, the Netherlands, the people in those countries who are like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make it happen. Those are the people who built America. They were the people who had a mindset of, I can create and I can fix and I can make things. And they did. And they passed that gumption onto their children. And their children have been raised in that. And it's been being bred out through the softness of modern life. But I would say for the most part, that's still a thing. That is still the American spirit. And I love it. And we are better than you all. We're better than all of you because we're from the best of you.
And there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Yeah, I am proud to be an American. That's right. All right. Well, folks, it has been a good show. It's been a fun show, and I appreciate y'all coming along. And it's go to bed because tomorrow is the Lord's Day, and He has prepared a place for you to come and worship Him. And if you do not have a church by you where you can come and worship Him, reach out to us. Reach out to me. Reach out to Sean. And we'll talk to you. We'll try to hook you up with people in your area. If you have a great church that you're really proud of and you want people to come to it, let us know. And we'll try and put you all together, because it's good. It is good to accept the means of grace at the table every Sunday morning with the saints of all the earth, together taking communion before the Lord and humbling yourselves before your God. It is a wonderful, beautiful thing. So anyway, we hope that y'all have a wonderful week. We hope that y'all have a wonderful Lord's Day. And we hope that you have a good night and farewell.